Hey, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the second one, and I don't have to remind you to please like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell so that you will always be in the know when I load something again. Listen, last time we were talking about hair, and this time we're going to continue about hair mapping. And we spoke about how the hair is the mirror to the soul, so to speak. It's the symbol, the sign, this pointer to the season we're in or that we are entering. And I realized that it wasn't just my story. And I think about it, so many women would be able to tell me stories of how they cut their hair to symbolize a new beginning, or sometimes when they were angry they would cut their hair, or when they were rebelling they would cut their hair. On a sadder note, you have situations where hair would be that thing that depicted that you're not feeling well. You know, people have had sicknesses or hormonal changes and hair fell out in response to chemotherapy, for example, cancer treatment, the hair would fall out. So, you know, the hair mourns with us. It's that chomi, you know, that sister. Last week we said she's the friend, the brother, that's this friend that sticks closer than a brother. I remember my mom actually when I was probably I was 10, I think, and my grandfather died, and I was in school, so I couldn't go with her for the funeral. And when she returned 2 weeks after having buried her father, she came to visit, and you know, someone says to me, "Your mom's out there, she's come to see you." And I go and I'm seeing a myriad of parents, but I don't see mine. She's in front of me, and I'm like, "Where?" And they're pointing there. I'm looking at her, and I look closely, and there's my mom. She had grayed. She had gone completely gray in 2 weeks. So her hair had been mourning along with her, you know. So this hair really, it tells a story. It speaks before you do. And I know I'd said already last week, I haven't always treated my hair very well. When I came into covenant concerning my hair, I became a bit more discerning, I became more careful, and I began to look after my hair myself. But the situation is that, you know, anyone who's a new mom will tell you that even to be able to have a shower is a miracle. And I've been a new mom, you know, almost annually for over a decade. So I just would rush in, make sure I have the bath. That's the least I can do for humanity and for in the nostril department, because my son says I can smell the farts of the future. Yeah. So my nose is really strong, and the last smell I want to have to deal with is mine. So a shower I would try and sneak in. But who has hours on end to look after their hair, you know? And being a mom, I would cut the boys' hair. I would look after my daughter's hair. Sometimes I'll cut my husband's hair. I'd look after my mother's hair. Everyone around me was a beneficiary of my ability to do hair, but there was no one around to do my hair. And I didn't have the time to leave the baby with who and go out and get my hair done. So in that way also my hair suffered. My husband might be able to grease my scalp every now and again, but I'd still have to take it over from there. And so I compromised. I found compromise by simply, you know, making sure it was washed, it was moisturized, it was treated, and then I would braid it up. You know, I would do twists, and my doek, my headscarf, has been my friend for the longest time. You know, my hair is always covered up. I went and decided to get my hair done for my 41st birthday. It was the first time in over 2 years, I kid you not. And for some reason, my 41st birthday just felt more exciting to me than my 40th, and that'll be a discussion for another show. But I promised last time that we were going to be talking about the art versus the science of hair. You know, the need for a quick fix, the need to look beautiful now versus, you know, making a sacrifice sometimes with the intent of having the hair healthy and thriving. I mean, in the advice I would have given my old self, I would put on a weave or a wig that was longer than my hair, because that was the look that I wanted. I was more concerned with the look. I was more concerned with, that's the length I'd like to have. And the advice I would give my new self is, number one, grow some patience, grow some contentment. Look after your hair instead of treating it badly and then you know, replacing it with the artificial. That's the advice I would give to myself now. And we just don't want to prune. We don't want to cut. We don't want to wait. This is true for life as it is for hair. Who wants to wait? I want it now. We're a microwave generation, you know, and it's something I've had to teach myself. This year was the year of the pruning. I tell you, every 6 weeks, with tears in my heart, I'll take the scissors and I would cut. I wouldn't trim, I would cut, you know. And I was cutting off that much because the reality is I had the illusion of length. You know, I had the illusion of length. I didn't have length. It was like, you know, your 5 fingers. So this finger is standing head and shoulders above the rest, and because you've got a few clusters of middle fingers here and there, you have the illusion that you have length, but the reality is you don't have length. You know, you collectively you don't have length, and this is true not just for hair. I'm saying it's true for life. We don't want to wait. We hold on to dead ends, dead end relationships, dead end jobs. We hold on to death because it's familiar. We hold on to the dead because it's familiar. Even, you know, from a cultural perspective, sometimes there's more honor, more investment in the concepts around the dead. We don't speak evil of the dead, even if they were as evil as hell. And we do the same thing with our hair. I can't afford. I've seen ladies with straggly bits hanging out of the scrunchie. That's what it's called. What's hanging out of the scrunchie? Really 2-3 strands, but long strands, and the majority is struggling to catch up with everything else, and that's me, you know. So it wasn't it was really a life's lesson I was taking myself through. I was taking myself through the lesson of swallowing my own medicine, because it was just torture. Every time I would cut and I'd be like, you know what? This is really the length of your hair. And it happens with our circle of friends. When you would cut some friends out and you realize this is really your ride or die. These are the people who are really with you, you know. There was a man who commanded a lot of crowds in history. But this man knew that when he was done with the crowds, there were like 120 that he was close to. Then there were 70 that he was even closer to. And there were 12 that he was even closer to. And then there were 3. And then there was the one, you know, that was really, really close. And we're into this thing of quantity versus quality, that we need to begin to make the long-term decisions. Now, for me, was it easy in this age to think of starting again? No, because I'm at that stage in my life. I'm at that age where biologically and scientifically everything begins to slow down. Some things begin to reverse, you know. Replication and renewal of cells is not at the pace it was in my 30s, my 20s, definitely not my teens, and definitely not as a child, you know. So I could harbor that fear, I could hold on, but you know what you want to gain, you have to let go of. This is just the reality. And I want you to hear my heart, that I'm talking hair, but we've already agreed that the hair is a map that shows us, or can be used to symbolize a map of your life's journey. So I want to talk deeper than just the hair, if you would let me. I want us to imbibe the discipline of going for the science, to imbibe the discipline of going for what it takes to grow trees and not flowers. You know, flowers are seasonal, but when you have the habit of growing trees, whether in your relationships or in the way that you raise your children or in the business that you establish, if you go into the habit of digging a foundation deep enough. You know, there's other people, they've built, they're done, they're gone. You're still digging the foundation you've not even started to build. There's so many things in life that you cannot look at where your peers are. Her hair is longer than mine by now. Oh, she's gone further by now. You know, even with makeup, we want to be in a place where we look after our skin so well that we don't need the makeup. Where it's like, oh, you look as if you're wearing makeup. It's the same thing with hair. Cut it, trim it, treat it. Moisturize it, look after it, don't abuse it, don't pull it back, and soon you'll be sitting down with hair lengths that look as if you've got the weaves, you know, bountiful and beautiful. Drink your water, do your exercise, use natural products, avoid chemicals in your body and on your hair. It takes longer. It's the longer route, but it is the more rewarding, more sustainable, and easy to maintain route in the long run. This is the truth of the matter. So what we're going to be doing in this episode is we're going to go and, as I said, go into the environments where these people operate, where we have stylists who are about the aesthetics, who are very skilled in the aesthetics, who know how to snatch it, girl, make you look good. And if you're going to patronize that kind, and I think we should, I think I'm all for giving the small business person an opportunity. And many of these people operate these businesses on the back of a raw talent like I did. They just know how to do hair, and they don't have the opportunities to go into these institutions and learn the ins and outs. So if you're going to go into that type of environment, by all means, learn what it takes for you to care for your own hair, or patronize someone else who's going to do the caring of the hair for you. We're going to go into the streets, have fun, and talk to some of these people who are just hustling and getting by and using the talent that God has given them. And we're then going to go into the kind of establishments where the training is very rigid, where the care for the hair is of paramount importance, and the styling and such is not neglected, but it doesn't come first, But as we're watching all of this, I repeat myself, I want you to think of it not just in the context of the hair you've been given, but of the life you've been given. I said this was my year of cutting and pruning. What wasn't growing was cut and cast into the fire, girlfriend. Let me tell you, because if it's not fruitful, it has no place in your life. Especially a certain age you cross over, you're just like, I'm done playing. I'm done playing. And I want you to think of that for certain relationships that you're in. He does you no good. They do you no good. They hang around you for the sake of gossip. I've had to look at my phone ring and refuse to pick up the phone because I'm like, I'm not going to sit around and gossip with you because that's all you're calling me for. And sorry, I'm not going to pick up your phone call, because when you've dropped the phone, then I'm here left. I'm feeling defiled. I have to go through repentance. I'm here begging the Lord for forgiveness because I'm listening to that jargon. And if you're going to speak to me about someone else, then guess what you're going to do with someone else concerning me, So it's those relationships. Think about it this way. Many of us want health. We want that banging body. We want that beautiful skin. We want the hair. And it's not so much that we don't have a budget. You can afford anything that is a priority for you. Because, I use a lot of natural, my toner is apple cider vinegar infused water, for example. My cleanser is natural African black soap. I don't go spending a lot that I don't have. There's specific products where I'm like, okay, here I cannot concoct a natural alternative, so I'm going to spend the money and get the right products. My hair I wash with African black soap because a lot of these companies take these products and they just add some perfume and add some chemicals and some preservatives and give us back what's ours anyway. And the additives that they've put on are not even good for me, So it's not about a budget. It's about a decision. It's about a choice. And when I say prune, I mean make a choice. Because once you've made one choice, every other alternative gets cut off. That's the reality. Every other alternative falls away. So you need to make the right choices, and very often we don't, because the wrong choice, the straggly ends of hair have become a crutch. They've become something that, at least it looks like I've got long hair. At least it looks like I've got a posse. It looks like I've got a group of friends. At least it looks like there are people who like me, who appreciate me. At least it looks like I've got a job, I've got a career. What you're doing is building bricks for Pharaoh. You have not come to apprehend the purpose for which you have been called. Until you do that, baby girl, you're hanging on to strands. That's the reality. So we look at the story where this gentleman had been sick and he was standing by the pool of Bethesda. And what would happen every year is that there would be a stirring in the water, and if you could touch the water, you would get well. He'd been there year in, year out. And when the holder of his destiny came and met him one day, he says to him, do you want to be healed? On the surface, that sounds like a crazy question. If I'm blind and you have the power to make me see, you shouldn't be asking me, do you want to see? But he was in the habit of doing that, wasn't he? So he doesn't immediately offer the obvious. He doesn't say, get up from your sick bed and be made well. He asks, will you be made well? He doesn't even say, do you want to be? He says, will you be? So the choice remains yours. And the way that you know that this guy had used his straggly ends, his sickness as a crutch, is that his immediate answer is not, yes, by all means. His answer is now he's making excuses. I'm sitting here. No man came to help. Who's going to help you? Everyone's on their own struggle. People would, if I saw you hooked hands with me, I'm trying to get there, you're also trying to get there, we made a plan, or you shouted loud enough, or I see you make some effort, reach halfway, then I take you the remaining way, but you just chill there like it's owed to you. Many of us don't want to get well. We look at the magazine, we want the six-pack, but crunches, for who, for what, why? Ain't got time for that. If you want it bad enough, you're going to make a choice. And making a choice means cutting off that which does not bring fruitfulness. Because if you don't do it, guess what? It's going to be done for you. I mean, I held on to that hair for so long, like, no, I'm not going to cut my hair. At least when I see, even if it's the 10 strands that are sitting midway down my back, I can tell myself I've got long hair. Guess what? Those 10 strands were weak. They did not have the support of other hairs next to them. What did they do? They broke off anyway. That's the reality. And it's like when you have a drunk father in the home, we can always talk about our daddy and say, I know, Mara, daddy's, but we don't want to hear anybody from outside tell us the truth. It's the same thing with this self-care. Rather do it yourself, because if nature has to get involved for you, it will be painful. It'll be painful. Guys, I keep repeating myself. I'm talking more than hair today. I'm talking life, and I'm hoping that you can hear me. So we're going to go out, and we are going to walk these streets, and we're going to interview a few people. We're going to see masters of their art in the process of their art. And the core lesson for today is, am I going to get the quick microwave version of what I want? Or am I going to grow patience, grow contentment, realize life is not a competition, realize that if something is not fruitful, I need to make the choice to cut it off. It might be hair, it might be relationships, it might be wrong investments, whatever it might be. Okay, we'll be right back. Love ya. Bye. Okay, guys, so we're taking this to the streets. You can see the taxis and all that around us. I've changed my clothes, taken off the jewelry, put my hair away. This is how I used to roll, to walk to the places or to take taxis to the places where I'm going to get my hair done. So when we get back, we'll wrap up the video. But now we're going to go interview the people. We're going specifically to Hillbrow. So hope you enjoy it. Bye. Doing this on the streets, there's nowhere to park a car in that kind of space. So I'm going with my Legatus Benz, my Lexus, my 10 Toes GP. Which one do you think will suit me? Which one must I do, my brother? You're recommending?
Hello, baby.
See, this is the versatility. There's hair and there's business cards, flyers, banners, and posters. So we are about doing everything we can put our hands to do, ne? To take money home. Okay, guys, so this is the salon I'm about to enter. And I'm going to be interviewing a lady by the name of Buhle. You can hear the hustle and the bustle. This is where the life is at. Buhle, as your name says, you're beautiful, but you don't want to be on camera. That's fine. I respect that. I just want to ask you, how long have you been doing hair?
I think it's more than 10 years now.
Sure. 10 years. How did you learn?
I started this in 2005.
Okay. So that's 14 years, eh?
Yeah, but to be professional.
All right. It was 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you spend 4 or 5 years in training?
No, I spent nearly 2 years because I did it for 2 years, and then after that I did attachments.
Oh, so attachments means what? You were in salons
Yes.
as an intern, sort of apprentice?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that was for how long?
It was for 6 months.
That was for 6 months, okay. Then you started your own thing?
No, I started to work on salons.
Okay, all right. And what's your specialty? Relaxing, braiding, weaves, what?
Braiding.
Singles, particularly.
Singles and straight back.
And straight back, that's your specialty. So what have you noticed when you do women's hair? Do they look after their hair, or they neglect their own hair because they have the hairpiece to hide?
Sometimes they do neglect, sometimes some they take care of their hair.
And the ones that neglect, how can you see that this hair is not looked after?
I'll see the way the hair that it grows, and I'll see the hair that sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's not healthy. So I can tell the person the hair, you're treating your hair nice, and I can tell the person your hair is not healthy.
So Mna, what advice would you have for me to maintain my hair under singles like this?
So I can advise you can buy braid spray, or can use hair food.
What kind of hair food?
I prefer, sometimes you can use black velvet. I like black velvet.
Black velvet, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a product here?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just get up. All right, guys, so this is black velvet that Buhle is recommending. Coconut hair food. Let's look at the ingredients. Containing coconut oil, shea butter, wheat germ oil, and they say it adds sheen, it prevents, it treats and helps to prevent breakage and against drying effects of the sun, wind, and hair dryers. Okay, so for example, now when your client came, was her hair already washed from home, or you had to wash hair?
I start to wash before we start braiding.
All right, so you wash, you blow dry.
Yes.
What do you put on the hair when you're blowing?
I just put the black velvet.
That black velvet.
Yes.
And then your blow dryer, does it have different temperatures, or it's cool and then hot, or how does it?
It has different temperatures.
Okay.
But when I'm drying, I just put it on the high so that
You put it on the high so it can be quick.
Yeah.
Now when you're blow drying, what comb do you use?
I start with this one.
Okay. You use a bigger comb first?
Yes.
All right. Then when it's now straight, do you go through a second time with this?
No, I have to have another one different from this one.
So let me just show this one. So this is the first comb that Buhle uses when she's initially blow drying. The second one is the same size?
No, it must be different, but I don't have it now.
Okay.
So I can use this one.
All right. And so
But
this is the
not-
second option that she can use to then finish off the blow drying with.
Yeah.
Why is it important for the hair to be straight?
So that it's easy when you're plaiting.
What happens to your fingers if it's not straight?
It's be rough. It damaged my finger.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's painful on the fingers.
Yes, it is.
Wow. I've been trying to understand that. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to watch you do this one, and then we'll be done. Do you have any advice for my viewers?
Pardon?
Any advice for my viewers?
Yeah.
What's the advice?
I advise them they must keep their hair. They must always hold their hair. They must treat their hair nice, because as a woman you must be beautiful.
That's
your
right.
beauty is on your hair.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you don't put your hair nice, or you don't treat your hair nice, sometimes you'll be looking ugly.
So wait, let me ask you. If I dress up nice, makeup, my shoes, what? But my hair is not nice, then I'm not together.
No, you're not up to the standards.
Client, do you agree? Sissy, do you agree?
Yes.
That no matter how nice I look, if my hair is not done, I'm not nice.
Yes.
How often do you do? How long are you going to keep these braids now?
For 2 months.
2 months. Do you keep them 2 months, all the time?
Yes, because I'll be using my spray.
Because, ma?
I'll be using my spray so that it's staying new.
Okay. After the 2 months, then what do you do?
I'll come to Buhle and they remove this and put the new one.
Okay. So you don't leave your own hair at all?
Yeah, because it's difficult to comb.
It's difficult. You struggle with the combing. Is your hair natural? Okay. When did you cut it low? When did you start growing the natural hair?
March.
March. Oh, so you had no hair before March?
Yes.
Wow. Can I touch it? I want to show them the length. Okay, guys, so I'm trying to make sure you're not in the shot. This length is, we're now in November. So she's grown this much. I'm trying to get you out of the shot. There we go. No, from November, she's grown that much hair. That is about 8 months, ne?
Yeah.
8 months. She's growing it natural, and she has about 2 inches. About 2 inches of hair. Now, what's your aim? Where are you trying to go with your hair?
I just like to have my hair long.
If your hair is long, will you still do braids?
No.
You'll leave the braids. So you're just growing your own hair, looking after it. Did you used to relax before?
Yeah, I used to, but my hair started to
braid. Yeah, okay. Wow. All right. Ladies, I thank you so much. Buhle, thank you so much. We're gonna get your phone number and your address and everything. I'm gonna put it on my page.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to reach out to you, do you go to people's homes or they must come here?
They must come here.
They must. Yeah, because then you
so
waste
that
your
I'll
time.
be stable and I can accommodate anyone.
That is true.
But if I go mobile door to door, at the end of the day, I'm not paying.
That's right.
Yeah.
About how much does this cost?
It costs $450.
$450, and this is like, yo, guys, this is long. Can you see how I'm traveling?
Yeah.
This is $450. So if it was half of this, it would be how much?
It will be $350.
$350.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So now we're on our way. It's been a bit of a hassle trying to make an appointment with a salon. We went to Hillbrow and there were no appointments needed. I walked in, I told the ladies what I was about, and their only request was please don't show our faces, and they wanted to make sure that I would put their numbers and names in so they could make, they could get referrals and make business. But now with these more established establishments, I'm having to make appointments, and many of them are not even answering their phones. I'm having a bit of a hassle. I've been doing my hair by myself at home, as I said, so I've not had to find out the inner workings of hair salons for a very long time. Sorry, where should I be going? Straight? Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna keep interrupting just to ask for directions, because guys, I don't know. I think I've become spoiled, love. I think I'm just like, no, just ask him. And if he's not around, I'm just gonna put on the GPS. Basically. Do you sometimes get irritated with my forgetting? He's shaking his head.
No.
Are you sure? But like when we just arrived at a place, we just went to a place and we're coming out and I don't know the way back home. It doesn't irritate you? Or it just baffles you?
Yes, it baffles me.
So guys, I just want us to do a quick discussion around the footage we got from the salon in Braamfontein. In Hillbrow. Thank you. When we went to Hillbrow, we spoke to Mrs. Buhle, and what my conclusions from the conversation is that she's invested a lot of her time in her craft. Her exposure and her means might have limited where that time got invested, but I don't want it to come across as though she was taking chances with people's hair, like she doesn't care about her clients' hair, like she didn't try and school herself. She spent it sounded like 4 years trying to learn the craft, and then another 2 in apprenticeship, studying under, working under other employers before she moved on to start her own thing. So she did school herself. I think the depth and the extent of the education that she got might be somewhat different to what is now trending. And you need to understand that a lot of us didn't know about natural hair, didn't know about the whole oil, cream, water, movement, about you know, a lot of the things that we're learning now, that looking after our own natural hair has become a thing. I think I'm not looking at you. I should be looking there. But anyhow, I'm going straight still.
Okay.
For hair and an understanding of looking after the queen's crown. Today I'm speaking to Yolanda, and she's doing a crochet, right? That's what it's called. But before we got to the crochet, which I assume you're doing as a protective style, is that correct?
Protective style.
Okay. I want you to speak to me about the issue of our crowns, and why do we need protective styles, and how do we protect our hair in general?
Okay, so we protect our hair basically, in my view and my opinion, hair is meant to be protected to be able to infuse its own oils.
Okay.
Even after I've oiled it and plaited it, it still needs to be preserved.
Okay.
So what the protective style does, it keeps the oils locked into the hair.
Okay.
Without having to pull the hair or put any stress into the hair.
Okay.
Basically.
So low manipulation.
Low manipulation, we don't believe in pulling at all.
Okay. Do you use combs? I'm not seeing any combs.
Hardly.
Okay. All right.
Hardly, not that there's anything wrong with it, but we don't like putting strain in the hair, because for me personally, hair is life. It's got life of its own, yeah. For me, hair is very different to just doing it.
Yes.
It's about nurturing it.
That's
the
right.
moment you nurture your hair will nurture you back.
Oh, wow. Wow, I think she needs to have the channel. Like, she's talking deep stuff here. Okay, so hair is life, and if you nurture it, it'll nurture you right back.
Yeah.
Okay, so the oils are about, so the protective style is about keeping the oils in.
Locking them in and allowing the hair's pores and hydration to hydrate around without having to fall out. Because when you have your hair exposed to especially the sun, you don't really have a sunblock for hair.
That's right.
So you might as well have something protective, and underneath you have something natural and preservative to the hair, basically.
Wow. Okay, and you say you don't really use combs. Now, the lady I spoke to in the other salon explained to me why they had to comb through, why they had to blow dry before she could do the weaving, because she says it hurt her fingers to run it through the coarse hair. How do you get through this issue?
So you see, we have been brainwashed so much to the knowledge of natural hair is hard and risky.
Yes.
It's actually a mental thing. Because then how did our forefathers take care of their hair?
I mean, I braid my daughter's hair.
Yeah, we had no relaxers, and these days actually natural hair is being accommodated quite well. So what we do with our process is I get her hair, I untangle it, I use a detangler to soften the hair and to detangle the hair. I can brush through the hair with a small bristle brush if it's necessary. Otherwise, I separate it with my own hands. So what we do is we'll first spray it with your water and oil spray that we mix ourselves.
And that's the cornrows that I'm seeing. Oh, you say spray first. I'm with you.
Yeah, this is before everything, to soften the hair and to also just hydrate the hair. It's called a pre-wash, basically, because you know our hair itches as we are washing it. So we're trying to prevent that. The less itching you do to your hair, the better your hair will grow, because you're interfering with the hair follicles.
I used to be like, scratch it here, scratch it there.
And those nice ones are the ones that are damaging.
Oh my word.
Scratching in one area all the time, you are basically just aggravating that area. And
sure, ignorance is costly. So is this why we're walking around the place going?
You can even itch with the palms of your hair, the soft parts of your hair. Because it's okay to itch. Not that there's nothing really
it's
wrong
natural
with it. But try to avoid it and do less of it. Because we lose quite a lot of hair from that.
Sure. So if I were to bring my hair to you and say, I am putting you in charge of this hair growth journey that I'm on.
Yes, I actually have a few of those.
Have you? And tell me your track record.
They are very personal to me.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna, maybe it's irrelevant or anything. When I have those clients, which I've had about 2,
Okay.
that I've taken through the journey and they have seen the result, is you listen to the hair, you have a conversation with the hair,
Wow.
not necessarily vocally, but
Yes, I hear you.
You study, you look at the hair, you study the hair, and doing anything out of passion, actually, you have a better understanding. Instead of now you being theoretic when it comes to hair. Hair's got a mind of its own. It's a natural follicle in the body. So you can't do what was right for your previous client. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You do exactly what your hair responds to.
Wow.
So I'm proud to say that personally I take my befores and afters with my clients personally. And from that, they see all the progress. I had a client whose hair was not growing. In 4 months, her hair is like, she can't even believe it because she's never seen her hair like that. Because you listen to the hair.
How frequently does she come in for treatments?
Twice a week. Twice a month.
Twice a month.
Yeah.
So that's every other week type of thing.
Every other week, yeah.
But does she have it in protective styles in the interim?
I do protective
What kind of
styles.
protective
So
styles?
I'll just do controls on her because her hair was quite severely damaged.
Okay.
So I didn't want to put anything that's going to
Straight,
interfere
yes.
with the process.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. This is deep. Are you?
But as you said, also, I'm a big believer of the crown.
Yes, true.
So once you don't, as an empress, as a goddess that you are,
Yeah.
your beauty is in your hair.
Yeah.
And any woman that takes good care of her hair is a real lady.
Do you get a chance to look after your own hair?
I try to.
Because you know how they always say the person, you tell the best hairdresser because their hair is always a mess. Not that yours is, I'm just asking.
Girl, it is.
Because they're looking after everyone
You know what? As
else.
long as I wash it every week and
Okay.
it's moistured, styles and all those things,
I'm not
really
relevant,
bothered.
yeah.
No, I'm not.
I mean, I've got 10 children. I've only got 1 girl.
Wow.
So I cut all the boys' hair. I braid my daughter's hair. I cut my husband's hair. I'm everyone, and no one's got time for me. This is the
know.
first time I did my hair in 2 years.
It's beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
know what you're talking about because I have a whole family
That
who's
looks
got
to you.
dreadlocks
Oh wow.
and natural hair. So yeah, it's one of those.
Who looks
things
after
where
you? Or you look after everyone
The
else?
son is like, mommy, my hair is falling apart, and then I have to do while I'm doing this one's hair, the other one is like, no, I want a different style, you know. But I understand exactly. I've got kids,
Yeah.
a lot of them.
Have you got a lot too? Can I ask how many?
We have 7.
I love you. Like you could just be my twin almost.
Right?
3 to go though. Huh? 3 to
I
go,
don't
then you'll
know.
come.
I don't know though.
7. Well done, Mama.
7, yeah.
Well
Fill
done.
up the nation.
Amen.
I've been waiting for an establishment like this, and when I discovered this place,
Yes.
I didn't even waste any time.
In applying?
I actually took my last day time and called them
Wow.
because I love being a part of nature.
Wow.
I do.
How long have they been in establishment?
For more than 3 years now.
And how long have you been here?
I've been here for 5 months. 5 months.
Wow. What were you doing prior to 5 months? It had to be hair.
It had to be hair because hair is a passion. I started
Yes.
with hair in 2003.
Wow.
Yeah, so
But you weren't doing all natural at the time.
I was unfortunately not because
Okay.
it was not acknowledged at the time.
Yes.
But I saw what damage it done.
Yeah.
And with all my kids have never had chemicals in the hair.
Yeah, same here.
From the firstborn to the lastborn, your hair carries all your emotions from birth. So for me,
Wow.
to even cut anyone's hair, it's heartbreaking.
Yo.
I try to avoid it.
Wow.
Take care of it.
Oh, this has been, I could go on. I could go on. I don't want to end the interview, but I have to go. I really appreciate your time. It's
I
been
really appreciate
more
you
fun than I
taking
thought it
the
would
time.
be. Thank you so much. Welcome back, family. Now that was a day well spent. It took me down memory lane. Those streets, people, and the energy and the vibe. You know, sometimes this burb existence, right? You know, it can deprive you of so much. But yeah. More importantly, I hope that we learned the lessons behind growing flowers and growing trees, and that you're going to see your skin, your hair, your children, your marriage, your business as a tree legacy investment, not something that you just, you want the quickest fix. Have you noticed when you put bread in the microwave, you want it warm, but when it comes out, it's now hard. So we must run away from a microwave mentality concerning the things that are of great importance to us. I enjoyed the series. I hope that you did too. We'll be back soon, next week, same time, same place, with another episode, and we'll see what we'll be talking about then. I'm not going to give away the secret. Please join us. Love you much. Take care and God bless.